Jagged Edge is an American mainstream R&B group signed through Jermaine Dupri's So Def Recordings. The group has had a number of hit singles, many of which are produced by Dupri. The group's members include identical twin lead singers Brandon and Brian Casey as well as Carl Norman and Richard Wingo. In addition to writing the bulk of the group's material, the Casey brothers have also written for Usher, Nivea and Toni Braxton. Wingo was a late addition to the group after the departure of an original member Al. He was added after Kandi Burruss of Xscape recommended he be added. Burruss was also the one who brought the group to the attention of Dupri, who signed them to his Columbia Records distributed imprint, So Def Recordings. History 1997 2000, A Jagged Era and J Heartbreak Jagged Edge began their mainstream recording career with the single The Way That You Talk. They followed this in 1997 with the album, A Jagged Era, which managed to go gold, featuring the singles I Gotta Be, and The Way That You Talk. I Gotta Be, which was written by the twins, reached number 11 on the R&B charts and number 23 on the Hot 100. Following up their debut album, Jagged Edge released J Heartbreak in 2000. The album was the group's breakthrough album with several popular singles. The album went double platinum and had the hit single Let's Get Married, which topped the R&B charts and reached number 11 on the Hot 100. The album's second single, He Can't Love You, had similar success, reaching number 3 on the R&B charts and number 15 on the Hot 100. It also featured the track Promise, which, albeit a late single coming out in 2000, reached number 1 on the R&B charts and number 9 on the Hot 100. 2001 03, Jagged Little Thrill and Hard the group's third release, Jagged Little Thrill, was released in 2001 and went platinum. Its success was in large part due to the up-tempo, Where the Party At, which reached number 1 on the R&B charts and number 3 on the Hot 100, the group's highest charting single. Jagged Edge's fourth album, Hard, was released in 2003 and went gold. The album's single Walked Out of Heaven performed well on the charts, reaching number 6 on the Hot 100 and number 2 on the R&B charts. 2006 11, Jagged Edge, Baby Makin' Project and The Remedy Jagged Edge's fifth album, Jagged Edge, was released on May 9, 2006 by Columbia Sony Music Urban and it went gold. It featured the hit urban single Good Luck Charm. Also released on November 21, 2006 was the Hits collection featuring Jagged Edge's biggest hits plus a few album tracks. The album shared the single Stunners that's also on the Jagged Edge album as a bonus track. Jagged Edge parted ways with Columbia Records shortly after the release of their self-titled fifth album and signed back with Jermaine Dupri. Dupri re-signed the group to So Def through Island Def Jam, which handles the distribution for So Def, and where Jermaine Dupri was president of the urban division. The group was also granted their own record label called 581 Music Group, which was credited on their album, Baby Makin' Project. The only single released off Baby Makin' Project was Put a Little Umph in It featuring Ashanti. It reached number 49 on the Hot R&B Hip Hop Songs chart. The group recorded so much material for the project that they have saved 8 of the tracks for another album, a release date for which has not been announced. Jagged Edge signed to Slip and Slide Records in May 2009. The album titled The Remedy was released June 21, 2011. The project had one collaboration with Rick Ross. The first warm-up single from The Remedy is Tip of My Tongue featuring Slip and Slide Records labelmate Trina and Gucci Mane. A second warm-up single, Lay You Down, was released before the official single titled Baby. 2014 present, J Heartbreak 2 the group released their 8th studio album titled J Heartbreak 2 on October 27, 2014. On May 15, released their first single titled Hope. The song was co-written by brothers Brian and Brandon Casey for Brandon's fiancée Curtisha Griffin of Lexington, Kentucky. The two recently had twin boys Jaden and Jalen Casey on August 8, 2015. Their third child, a girl, is due in May 2016. The two wed on October 13, 2015. Brandon also has two daughters, Bella Casey born March 29, 2007 and Amani Casey born February 9, 1995, by two previous relationships. Brian Casey is married to Angela Torres of Brooklyn, New York and has one son, Devin Casey born September 3, 1994, also by a previous relationship. Discography: A Jagged Era, J Heartbreak, Jagged Little Thrill, Hard, Jagged Edge, Baby Makin Project, The Remedy, J Heartbreak 2. Awards and nominations: American Music Awards, 2006, Favorite R&B Soul Band, Duo or Group, 2002, Favorite R&B Soul Band, Duo or Group, 2001, Favorite R&B Soul Band, Duo or Group. BET Awards, 2003, Best Group, 2002, Best Group, 2001, Best Male Group. Grammy Awards, 2002, Best Rap Sung Collaboration, Where the Party At. Soul Train Awards, 2007, Best R&B Soul Single by a Band, Duo or Group, Good Luck Charm, 2007, Best R&B Soul Album by a Band, Duo or Group, Jagged Edge, 2004, Best R&B Soul Single by a Band, Duo or Group, Walked Out of Heaven, 2002, Best R&B Soul Album by a Band, Duo or Group, Jagged Little Thrill, 2002, Best R&B Soul Single by a Band, Duo or Group, Where the Party At, 2001, Best R&B / Soul Album by a Band, Duo or Group, J Heartbreak, 2001, Best R&B Soul Single by a Band, Duo or Group, Let's Get Married. References. External links: Official website, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Vevo, SoundCloud.